So it's
Yeah.
good. It's good. I got myself a bottle of Macallan. I had that with my
Nice.
friends. It was nice. I still have it. I saved it for
Nice.
31st as well. Yeah.
Wait, one bottle for both Christmas and 31st?
Yeah, of course. So what do you think? I'm a drunk. I'm not alcoholic, so it's everyone. Welcome to the Sorted Podcast with Sumit and Rishabh. The past week has been amazing for us. We just started the channel last week on Sunday. We have uploaded 3 proper videos and some shorts, and already we have gained like 5 subscribers. I'm very happy that those of you who have chosen to subscribe to our channel have joined this movement, this channel in a way, and it is extremely motivating for us. So it's very nice that we are getting all this traction. The main reason why we started the channel was to help young people, young Indians, to deal with issues that they're going to face with their career, their financial life, and various other life challenges that all of us, right, at that age will face. And I'm happy that we are able to reach out to a lot of people and we are getting that love and support through your likes and comments. So please share this with as many friends as you can so that this community grows. Right? So I want to bring it over to Rishabh. It's just been 1 week, right? We started less than a week back, and already people are liking and commenting and subscribing to our channel. I'm very happy that we are able to provide that value. What do you think? How's it
Yeah,
been? How's it been like for you?
I think taken aback a little by the so much of the reception that we have gotten. But yeah, it's good. It's good. It's trying out something new in this day and age. It's refreshing actually. Yeah.
And the funny thing is that we never shared this with any of our friends
Yeah.
or family as much, right?
We still
It
haven't.
was completely like we are creating content, we are trying to add value to people, and naturally, organically, that people are joining this channel, right? They are getting some value out of this channel, which I'm very glad. I'm very very happy, and the main goal is to actually improve with each and every video. So because we've just started, it might not be picture perfect, but we can guarantee, right, that we are going to improve the production quality with every video. That is the aim for now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That has to be the aim. Consistency is key. We say to people and we believe in it and we gotta uphold it ourselves.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what gets results at the end of the day. How has how was the Christmas in Singapore?
Christmas is fun, right? Because you don't have to work as much in the
Yeah,
office, right? Everybody,
yeah,
almost everyone is on leave. So that's good. Nobody is pinging. Nobody is, the Teams and the Outlook inboxes are not that full. So that's great. Secondly, the decorations are very nice, right? In Singapore, Gardens by the Bay, the Christmas decorations are amazing. Orchard Road, amazing decorations. Even in my condo, I see people partying and having fun. So it's good. It's good. I got myself a bottle of Macallan. I had that with
nice,
my friends. It was nice. I still have it. I saved it for
nice.
31st as well. Yeah.
Wait, one bottle for both Christmas and 31st?
Yeah, of course. So what do you think? I'm a drunk. I'm not alcoholic, so it's more than enough for me.
Okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That's great. So you guys get like a 1 day off on Christmas and 1 day off on New Year's. Is that it?
Yes. So 25th is a national holiday. Was a national
Mm-hmm.
holiday, and
Mm-hmm.
then I think first or 31st. I have to see. I keep forgetting. But yeah, these 2 days are mainly the national holiday. I think first Jan is a holiday everywhere, right?
Yeah, I
So
think so too. But 31st,
yeah.
I'm not sure for a lot of companies.
Yeah, I don't think so. 31st, but nobody in their right minds is actually going to work on the 31st,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Nobody does.
They just show up, they just log in, that's it. Log in
Yeah.
and watch a movie or something.
Some people won't even log in.
Yeah.
They'll be like, no,
Yeah. Like they'll introduce intermittent fasting to logging in, intermittent logging in.
intermittent logging. Right,
Yeah, so yeah,
right.
that's how it'll be. But yeah, I mean, during the holiday seasons in my organization, later half of the year, the work ethic style becomes so relaxed and so chill that
Yeah.
it's very contagious. It's very hard to keep being the one, like, being focused and everything when everyone's like, "Chal bhai, party kar." So yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And given in my organization, we have like off PTOs from 25th to the 1st. I don't know if
Hmm.
that reveals too much, but yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty
Even
good
for
right
me,
now.
right? Because right now is a lean period. I
Yeah.
was able to dedicate a lot of time to working on the YouTube channel that we've created, and I was able to make 3 videos as well. So I got the time because right now is the lean period. But of course, once everything starts again, once work starts again, we will focus on having at least 2 videos out every week. That'll be the goal. Yeah.
For
Yeah.
sure, for sure. Yeah, I mean, this is holiday season right now for us. That's one thing. We had winter vacations in school. This is the closest the kids watch this. This is the
Yeah.
closest you'll be getting to getting a winter vacation after you grow up, which you so
Yeah.
dearly want to do.
Yeah. That is one
Yeah,
shock when you
holy
join the
shit.
workforce, right? No more vacations. There's nothing called winter vacation. There's nothing called summer
Done,
vacations.
done.
In India, and we come from Calcutta,
Yeah,
we have this saying in Bengali called Baro Mas Tero Parbon, which means 12 months but 13 festivals, right? So we are so used to that, and suddenly you have to book your leaves and get that approval. It's
yeah,
quite a change.
yeah. It's like, careful what you wish for. You wanted to grow up. Now,
Yeah,
now you've grown
yeah,
up, man. Done.
exactly.
Yeah,
Ex-
handle this now. Handle this now. So that is what it is. Okay, so getting back into the discussion, the reason we are shooting this video, it's mainly because, I mean, Sumit released a video last week, moving abroad and how it changes your life, how it impacts your finances and everything. So I had a couple of questions, and so we can deep dive into that. Sumit, up for that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I'll take all
let's
the
do this.
questions that you have.
Yeah, let's do this. So yeah, the first point that you did mention was exposure. Exposure when it comes to when you're going outside and staying abroad, living abroad and working abroad, you have a different set of exposure, which is vast compared to the exposure that you get here, staying in India and doing jobs here. So yeah, when you did say that, like working across different with different people and everything, how does like, working in India in an MNC, let's say, you definitely do work with different sets of people. You have different clients. How is that different from actually working abroad and like
Okay.
dealing with the same people? I mean, it
Okay.
sounds the same.
Yeah. It sounds the same, but it is not the
Yeah.
same.
Okay.
Okay. It is really not the same. It's like saying that, okay, just because I go to a restaurant and eat nice meals, I know how to make those food as well. It sounds the same, right? Because you're dealing with the same people. But it is one thing to actually work under or work for a client and work on the client side. Okay. It's totally different experience. Because when you're working in India, generally most developers, most people in tech, right, they won't really get to interact with the client all that often. It'll be generally the project manager or your line manager or your solution architect who will interact with the client, right? But you as a developer don't generally get to experience that client facing role is not available in India. And when you move to the client side, now you are actually working with your client in a way, right? Because you're more closer to business. You're sort of like a front office that you have in banking. You move from a back office role to a front office role in a way. So it gives you a lot more exposure, right? So that is one thing. And the other thing is, let's say you are sitting in India, okay? You're working from your home or you're going to office. What are the avenues in which you can actually connect with your client? You can connect via email, right? You can talk to them via Teams. But do you actually get to meet them? Do
No,
you
you don't.
actually get to have a face to face interaction, right? They might appreciate your work. They might not like your work, but you won't really get to know that easily. Okay. So that is one thing, one crucial difference why it sounds the same, but it is not the same. Same, but different.
Same but different. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
That's Gen Z way to describe it. That was insightful, definitely. I mean, yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like when it comes to that, you take calls and with your foreign counterparts and everyone, but you do work with them, but you don't exactly work as much like hand in hand when it comes to that. The
You
being
won't get to
there,
know your client as well
yeah,
because you're not interacting with them on a daily basis. You won't know, okay, just because you're working on, let's say, one software or one part of that software, you're developing that, you won't understand the full context, right? Because there are a lot of other things happening in the background which are connected. So the only way you can get that exposure is to actually get to the client
definitely.
side.
Definitely, the distance does play a role. The distance, it's real. The distance is real. No matter how much you try to be open with the communication and be it in a project, the distance does kick in one way or the other. So
Yeah.
yeah, that thing is definitely there. And yeah, the second point that I did want to bring up was the difference in the work culture. So as you did mention in the video that the work culture outside is much better. So like, is it like according to you inherently better, like across all companies? Because I think, I mean, depending on domain to domain, that might vary from what I have seen. Like, let's say if you want to go to investment banking, let's say that's one grind culture wherever you go in the world. So yeah, and I think that it also depends from country to country or region to region, and domain to domain being the main specific. And I think the culture that we have in India is majorly derived from the US. It's like a US and India in a way kind of work culture. It's not exactly American. You do have the grinding thing here in the work culture in India, but it's not exactly the same. It's a little bit different, and it's definitely not European. So why don't you elaborate
No,
on the
I
differences?
actually
Yeah,
differ with this.
yeah,
So when I say that the work culture is better abroad, I don't mean that for all companies it is better. Okay, like I haven't worked under all organizations to make that comment. But what I can tell you for a fact is that if I take the average, okay, and when I say the average, I'm talking about, let's say you graduate from an engineering college, and most people actually end up joining the mass recruiter companies, right? The big IT services company in India. So there's a lot of people who join those sort of companies. Surely a lot of people actually join good product based companies as well, right? The work culture is pretty good in India as well in those types of companies. But if I take into account the average, which is the big chunk of new workforce that comes into effect every year, the work culture in these IT services company is not good, right? You have people saying that you should work for 70 hours, right, to ensure that you are productive.
yeah.
And for every little thing, it will be like, okay, do it for your country, do it for your company. Even though if you see the fresher's salary, it has not increased in decades. So
Bring in
the
the
work culture,
nationalism.
nationalism is okay. I'm okay with nationalism, but like to see the numbers and then to say
Yeah,
it doesn't really make sense to
yeah.
me, right? Now these companies, there's a lot of fault that lies with people as well, the young freshers as well, right? Because they expect the solution or themselves to get trained via their college, but the syllabus in the colleges are outdated, right? So you need to take that ownership at first, where you upskill yourself, right? Then you can expect a better company and a better job and a better work culture. So when I say that the work culture is better, I'm mainly talking about these IT services company. Compared to them, it is a whole lot better. I can guarantee that. Okay. Because in these IT services company, the kind of jobs that are available are mostly support roles. So you don't really get to develop anything. You don't really get to take ownership of anything. It's already an existing process that you're working under. But when you move abroad, such companies are few and far between. Even if you're working on an IT services company side, okay, abroad, people who go on site, right? They take up a lot more ownership because they're actually connected with the client. They know what they're working on, right? They have to develop, they have to talk to the client. So the work culture is totally different. It is far better. Definitely in India, I agree with you, and abroad as well. The work culture will differ from company to company. Not all companies are built the same, but I can tell you on an average, it is better. I can make that comment quite comfortably, is what I'll say.
That's good to know. That's good to know. What do you think of since we are on the topic of work culture, what do you think of the general work culture in India? Doesn't have to be
Well,
tech companies specific.
I would say that Indian work culture is notoriously bad. We've all seen all those videos of managers shouting at
Yeah.
their salespeople, and those salespeople they end up doing wrong things. They end up doing mis-selling because they're under so much stress and duress from their managers. And their managers also are under a lot of stress. So it's a toxic work culture, and India is kind of notorious for that. We cannot deny that, right? And a lot of companies had some mishaps that happened because of the work pressure, right? We've all seen those stories. So the conversation about work culture in India needs to happen. There's a lot of things which needs to be improved. There's a huge scope of improvement. In my experience, I would say that if you are fortunate enough to have worked in India and if you have experienced that sort of stress, like I have gone through that stress for like 9 months straight. I can guarantee that you can work anywhere in the world. You can work practically anywhere in the world because you've already been through that, you're battle hardened in a way. So Some people say that the work culture can be quite tough and hectic in countries like Singapore and Japan. Japan, definitely, it is very, very tough. I know about it.
I think Japan tops India when it comes to
Yeah,
that.
yeah, but but India also is not far behind Japan.
Yeah.
But I would say that having worked in India, I can actually survive anywhere now because I've gone through that stress, that pressure for a work that requires like 30 people. Five of us were actually working on the project, and the resources that it needs, the time that it
Mm,
needs. The philosophy in India is that you over promise, under deliver, right? But rather it should be the other way around. You under
yeah.
promise and you over deliver. So the time that the companies commit to the client, because everybody is after one thing, and that is money, right? Everybody wants to save cost. Already you're paying people in INR, which is far fewer. On top of that, you are saying that, okay, what takes 6 months to make, I'll give you in 3 months. And you are negotiating the price on that, right? Because all the companies have no other value proposition. The main value proposition is we are cheaper. But I would say that in the age of AI, this might not be the case. Okay. This
Okay.
might not remain the case that we
Why?
have seen. And that is why a
Why
lot
do you
of
say
IT
that?
services, no, because if a client can actually hire AI services and have the AI agents working and they are doing quite well, there's no denial. Why do they need to hire somebody sitting in India or Vietnam for that, right? So
I mean,
the nature of work is going to change for sure in the
yeah, but
upcoming
then
years.
I think the point that you brought up earlier, the main USP of the workers here is that we are cheap. I think when it comes to, if you compare that to AI, I think they are still a lot of cheaper than the rates at which agentic AI agents are being sold and everything. Sorry guys, I got a knock on the door. We had taken a little bit of a break. So yeah, resuming our topic of conversation. So, Sumit, as you were saying, like AI will take away a big chunk of the jobs, but AI is pretty expensive. Like replacing human labor with AI, that's going to be pretty an expensive affair. So, how do you think that the companies are going to be able to sustain that on the long run?
I actually don't think so. So the thing is, AI, I think, I personally believe, is going in the route of electricity. So when electricity was first invented and it was being spread out widely in the US, it was very expensive. Not everybody could afford electricity. But then it became commoditized, right? And now we take it for granted. We are still paying for electricity, but we don't think that it's the most expensive thing in the world. The value was actually captured by all the electronics companies, right? So they had created appliances which we use on a daily basis. So I think AI will go the same route. Now, if you see, all the companies are racing to build the best LLM possible, and everybody is trying to build their own LLM, which is the best in a particular sector. But I think sooner or later we'll see that AI becomes a lot more commoditized, and it's the application layer which will actually capture the value. So I agree that right now it seems very expensive, but when you have it spread widely, when all these companies become quite capable of handling the LLMs on their own, building applications on top of it, I don't think it'll remain expensive. It seems expensive because it just started, right? And now just think about it. 2 years back, 3 years back, our life was completely devoid of any sort of AI application, and we were living our lives just fine. But now, not not getting to use AI feels like it's a bottleneck. It's almost like we don't have Wi-Fi, right? It feels like that. Like, for instance, this YouTube channel that we are running, a lot of the heavy lifting is being done by AI, from
Yeah.
thumbnail creation to editing. I get to do all of that because of AI. I'm leveraging it. As a matter of fact, I was completely within the OpenAI ecosystem, but now I'm slowly, but actually quite drastically moving towards the Google ecosystem. After Gemini 3 came out, Nano Banana, the image generation uh, uh, process that they have, it's so much better. So I would say, think about it. I was dedicated to OpenAI. I was paying for the subscription, and now I have completely switched course, and I have decided to go with Google. Now, maybe few years later, some maybe Claude or Anthropic
Mm,
comes out with a better LLM, and
yeah.
I'll shift, right? So I think, you see, it is becoming more commoditized.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
sooner or later, the jobs are going to get replaced, right? And the kind of work that people in India are doing, the IT services company, I don't think their model is going to sustain itself. And that's why we are seeing all of these IT services company hiring very few people in the last 2 years. So it's a trend that is clearly out in the open. We can all see it. Now, as a matter of fact, on top of this, I think a lot of people are scared, and rightly so, especially for freshers. It's a very, very tricky situation. And I would tell all young people, especially if you're in college right now, if you are just searching for your first job, don't hesitate to understand AI. Do everything that you can to understand it first. Because if you can understand what's happening, what are the technologies that are available, what are the tools that are available, maybe new jobs will come up. And every time this happens, right? Every time a new technology comes out, old jobs get completely destroyed. They are no longer there, but new jobs come up. This has happened every time, right? From the time of the Luddites to current ages, it has always happened. So I would
Yeah.
say, I would advise all young people, please embrace AI. Don't have that hesitancy that a lot of people have with AI. Whenever I mention AI, I either see people getting excited, which is very few. I'm one of those people. I'm very bullish on AI, but most people become a little upset, as if it's a very stressful thing that is happening to them. You know, they're afraid that they'll lose their job. Maybe they'll lose their job. I can't say that your job will remain, but new jobs will come up. So either you can sit there and crib about it, be upset, be sad, be stressed out, or you can try to understand, try to adapt. And
Yeah.
that is the best that we can do as of this moment, right? We don't know what is going to happen 5 years down the line. But
Yeah.
today, in this day and age, I can tell you that learning about AI, learning all the tools is the best thing that you can do. It is the
Yeah.
best thing that you can do. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. It's like when computers came and when the internet came initially, people were resistant to the change. People in general, en masse, are generally resistant to change. They do not want the status quo to be maintained, and that's because they are used to that way of life. That goes along with, I think that goes definitely goes along with people growing up and and them losing the ability to learn again. From their perspective, it's like, you know what, I'm gonna have to relearn the entire thing again. It's like I learned, I know how to use the internet. Isn't that enough? It's like that.
No,
But that's a
this
fact.
actually supports what we are trying to do. When we
Hmm.
tell people that leave your house, don't stay
Hmm.
within your house. When you
Absolutely.
move outside your
Absolutely.
house, you have to
Yes.
relearn things. This is life, right? Life is
Yes.
constantly changing. You know, as they say, right? That the only constant is change. Change is
Yeah.
the only
Change is the
constant.
only constant.
So because we personally have done that, and we know that okay, this is how life is. We are comfortable with this. We are not going to say that the status quo should remain, because we don't see any advantage if the status quo remains,
Absolutely.
right?
It's
The
all about
You
finding
think
the
about
next
it.
edge. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, if things don't change, how will you have the new thing? How will you have the new next best thing if only the existing companies and the existing businesses are there forever and ever? When will somebody start their own business and become a billionaire? When will somebody discover a new process or a new medicine or something and solve people's problems? So change should be embraced always. There's nothing that you can
Yeah.
do about it.
Yeah.
And
And
the sooner
change
or
is
later you
going to be
understand,
uncomfortable. Change is
yeah,
going to be uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be always comfortable. But that's I think, the reality that we need to accept as we grow up, to be honest.
and it's
Change
fun.
is the only constant.
I would say it's fun. That constant,
Absolutely.
that new thing coming up gives you something new to learn.
Yeah.
And as I'm a curious person, I think
Yeah.
you are also, right? New things are fun. It's just that maybe it can be harder for some people. It might
Hmm.
be easier for some people.
Yeah.
But eventually everybody learns. And I think that
Yeah.
is going to happen with AI.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about when the internet came. People were resistant and hesitant to use it. Right now, it's a part of our daily lives. We cannot sustain without
Exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Entire societal circles are built around social media and everything and the networking
Yeah.
that's done there. So yeah, for that matter, the fact that we are doing that this is over the internet. I mean, back in the 90s, do you think it would have been possible? I don't think so. So
No.
yeah,
Yeah, you're
that's what
sitting
it
in
is.
Hyderabad. I'm sitting
Hmm.
in Singapore. We are
Yeah.
having this whole podcast. We're
Hmm.
discussing on various things. We're editing it. We're putting it out for the rest of the world to see.
Yeah.
None of this was possible.
Yeah. I
And this
mean,
adds value. We have to see the
exactly.
value.
Exactly. I mean, back in the 1990s, I don't think people would have been able to think that this was possible. The frontiers that can be, achieved with this. So I think it's the same with AI. When it's at its nascent stages, it's still at very early stages and people haven't learned it. In the next 30 years, 40 years, it'll be somewhere again, we maybe cannot think to the use cases that we can achieve with the AI of the next 30 to 40 years. So I think that's how it is going to be. So I think it's definitely necessary to learn it. So yeah, since we are on the topic of AIs, and we have seen a lot of big news reports saying the big firms have been using AIs and to do the reports and handing it to the government, and there have been a certain huge bit of errors, which has resulted in them paying huge fines in the $250,000 and stuff in that range. So bringing making that as a parallel to freshers, since AI is still fresh in its nascent stages, like I mentioned, and so are our audience right now. I mean, they are in their nascent stages. They are a fresher. The common thing that is there is mistakes. We have seen mistakes in the AI reports, and as we are in our working life and everything, we are humans. We tend to make mistakes. Mistakes make us who we are. But there is a huge difference in the way mistakes are taken, and that's one of the things. I mean, we have noticed in the Indian working culture, mistakes are not taken in a very nice way. So how is it taken in, like, abroad, like in the working culture in Singapore? How are mistakes taken?
Not just in Singapore. I would say you see any developed country, any country that is doing well. You take US, for example. The stark difference in culture is when it comes to failure, how the two cultures in India and the US handle failure. So if you see India, throughout our lives, the education system is designed in a way where failure is so vilified and it is so frowned upon that people are afraid to fail. And because people are afraid to fail, they never try out new things. Okay. And this becomes a pattern for the rest of the life. Right. I saw this a video by Javed Akhtar. He was saying that you go to any school in India and you ask the children there, please draw me a scenery. And almost every child is going to draw two mountains. Okay. And between the valley between the mountains, there will be a sun coming up. There will be two birds and there will be
And
one house
clouds.
and there will be a river coming from the
Yeah.
valley.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
the most common scenery that children draw. Why do you think that is happening? Why
Right.
is it that young children in India are not being creative? Because they are afraid to fail. Their parents are afraid that, okay, if my child does not, it tries out a new thing, they are not conforming, they might eventually fail. That is life. You have to learn how to fail.
Yeah.
Failing with grace, failing with that knowledge, that newfound knowledge by failing is necessary. When you say that, okay, I want to build the Silicon Valley in India, why is it that India doesn't have a Silicon Valley? The reason is that if you go to San Francisco, if you go to the Silicon Valley, you'll see that there will be so many companies which are coming up every single day. Most of them, 99% of these companies failed. But you know what? The difference between India and, let's say, SF? People actually appreciate when you fail. Founders who have maybe had one or two startups which have failed, they actually get more funding when they start a new startup, because it is very clear, right? When you have made mistakes, you have failed, you know what are the things to avoid.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
We've all heard that quote by Edison. I don't know if it is true or apocryphal, but he says that, he invented 999 ways to invent the light bulb, did not work out, and finally the 1000th attempt was successful. He said, I discovered 999 ways in which it doesn't work. Right?
Yes,
That
exactly.
is the attitude that we need in India. You don't have new people starting businesses. Right? I tried to have my own startup when I was in college. Then COVID happened. It did not work out. But after COVID ended, none of my friends were actually interested to continue that journey, because everybody was happy with that stable job at that time.
Yeah.
And they're afraid that if they take the risk of starting something on their own, if it doesn't succeed, then what? I understand why this mentality has come about in India, because we don't have a safety net. We don't have that social support, the different government frameworks to support people financially. I understand that. That's why I tell everybody that, okay, if you want to have something of your own, if you want to build something of your own, first thing that you need is safety, right? You need that sense of comfort, that safety, so that you can take that risk. Build that safety net first.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you need money for that. And the fastest way to make that money possibly could be to join a very good company with a very good salary, But if you can move abroad, right, where I have already mentioned that you get to make more money, save more money, pay less taxes, then it makes a lot more sense because now you have that safety net. And once you have that safety net created, you can actually start something of your own. So it's all connected. We want people to be creative. We want people to fail. We want people to fail and learn. And failure should be appreciated. For example, we both went to the same school. If the audience doesn't know about it, I can tell you my experience in school. So when I was in class 2 or 3, the teacher came about and she said that there's going to be an extempore competition. There's going to be a speech competition. There's going to be a quiz. And out of those 60 people in my class, nobody raised their hands to participate. Nobody did. Everyone was afraid that, okay, if I try out something, I might fail at it. Why try? And as a child, right? That is the scary part. That is the sad part. I remember I was the only one who used to always have his hands up for everything. I have participated and won in dance competitions, in singing competitions, in extempore, in quiz, in theater. There was nothing that I have not done in school. I have surely won a lot of prizes and I have surely lost a lot of events. But I can tell you for a fact that now I know what my strengths are. Now I know what my weaknesses are. And because I have started that journey of trying, failing, learning, trying, winning, I have continued that for so long, I can't help but try out new things. And I'm absolutely fine if I fail. Absolutely fine. It doesn't hurt me at all. Rather, I get to say, okay, this is one thing that I should not do.
I now know what not to do in
What
order to
not to
fail.
do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I enjoy that process a lot. And I wish that I had a lot more other friends who were like that back when we were in school, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You were 1 year junior to me. So we had different classes, but I wish that the fact that you have volunteered to become a part of this channel, you're doing your role, right? You're doing your part. That is exciting to me
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
we are not doing anything with that expectation. Like Krishna
Yeah,
in Bhagavad Gita says, do your work. Don't worry about the results. I believe that wholeheartedly.
yeah,
And I know for a fact
definitely.
that if we create good content, if we are providing value to the audience, people will join. People
Yeah,
will join this
definitely.
channel. People will appreciate us. We don't have to work for that. We are working to create the best content that we can. It's up to the people.
Absolutely. It's about being focused on the process, man. That's what
Yeah.
it is. Focus
Yeah.
on it and the results will come. That's what it is. And
Exactly.
yeah, I think what you said is absolutely right. It's essentially inherently embedded in the cultural differences of how mistakes are seen here and how mistakes are seen in the West. So I don't know, like if you have heard of the bodybuilder Tom Platz. Have you
Yeah.
heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was known for his leg muscles, his thighs and everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So his main way of training is his main philosophy of training is you need to work hard enough to achieve failure. Failure is something you
Yes.
have to achieve. So when I heard that for the first time, I think I developed a crease in my brain. I was like, okay, that's definitely one way to see it that I've never seen in my life. And
Yeah.
yeah, and the way it is seen here on the eastern part of the world is failure means shame. You fail,
Yeah.
you are shamed to the ends of the earth, man. Like it's yeah, you're a pariah. That's how it is. That's how it
Yeah.
becomes. So yeah, I think that's a good point. It essentially comes from the cultural differences of how we see things and certain things
No,
are seen.
I'm like, this is one topic that I'm
Hmm.
very passionate about. Okay. I can't believe that in the year of 2025, lakhs and lakhs of people, young, capable people, are wasting 10 years, 12 years of their lives going after UPSC, going
Yeah.
after all these government exams. For what? For safety. And you have all these private companies who want to hire people, who want to hire these smart people, but they are saying nobody's applying. We don't have those
Yeah.
candidates. Everybody wants to conform and become part of the government workforce. Why? I understand that in the 1970s, you did not have all these private companies around. You did not have all these opportunities. That was the way to go. But today, there is no reason. There is absolutely no reason to do that. It just baffles my mind why
Yeah.
people are afraid to start something new. I would say that if I was in a position where I did not have a good financial mean, right? I had a lot of hardships when it comes to my financial life and my family's life. If not anything, if not waste 10 years of my life, I would probably just start a small business, right? And I can build that capital over the time. If I'll be hardworking, I can build that capital. But for some reason, people have stopped aspiring to new things. This poverty of aspiration that
Yes,
exists
poverty of
in India,
aspirations. Yeah.
It's just baffling. So I want people to be more risk taking. This is something that Mr. Sanjeev Sanyal, he's
Mm-hmm.
part of the chief economic advisor team, he speaks about, and I completely resonate with that. That
Yeah.
if you are young, if you're capable, please try out something new. Maybe it will work, maybe it won't.
Yeah.
Try to start your own company, try to start your own venture, and if
Mm.
it works out, you'll do so much better. And even if it doesn't, you'll have that experience. I, having done that, tried to start a startup, did not work out, but I had learned so much from that experience that the next time if I ever try out something, I know what mistakes not to make, and definitely I'll capitalize on on the things that I've learned. So it will never go to vain. I can guarantee that to everyone.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, it's the fear of failure and what you mentioned, man. It's the poverty of aspirations. It
Yeah.
indeed is. And yeah, and that I think brings us to the next point. The reason we do not take up more opportunities, more responsibilities in our work life, it mainly stems out of this. It mainly stems out of the fear of failure. Like, what if I take up this responsibility and I fumble? What then? What then? That's how it is. Like, taking up more responsibilities in the workplace and taking up more opportunities, it's frowned upon. It's frowned upon by the general mass. What are your opinions on it?
As I said, there's a thing called the winner effect. What you observe is that most people who end up doing very well in their lives, they actually start out very small. In the sense that when you see a famous cricketer, or maybe a famous singer, or maybe a famous executive, they were not winners when they came out of the womb, right? They were not born winners. But because they started winning these small battles one after the other, it became almost like a prophecy that they're going to do very well in their lives. I relate to that because I started winning events when I was very young. I felt like, okay, if I participate, I'll try to win, and maybe I'll win. So that built up my confidence. Similarly, if you are in the workforce now, you surely cannot go back to change who you were in the past in your school. Maybe you are just starting out your work. Why don't you look at it this way? Why don't those young people look at it this way, where maybe they tell themselves that maybe I'm afraid of public speaking. Maybe I'm afraid to raise my point in a room full of seniors. What I'll do is I'll just put across one point. For the next week, I'll try to put across one point in a meeting. Okay, it starts off like that. And as you do it one after the other, I'll try to improve the way I'm putting my emails, right? I'll
Yeah,
try to improve the way I'm dressing up. Okay.
yeah.
On these various things, you build those small habits, you practice winning those small things one by one,
Mm.
and you won't realize when you have become exactly who you wanted to be.
Yeah, exactly.
That is very important,
That's very
especially
important.
because you are also into fitness, right? I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you will relate. When we first go to the gym, when I first went to the gym, I was unable to do bench presses with 2 kg,
2 kg. Okay, man.
2
That's
kg dumbbells in my hand. Okay. The moment I took the 2 kg and I improved my form and I was trying to
Hmm.
lift, my hands were trembling.
My God.
Because we have the main muscles and then we have stabilizer muscles. My stabilizer muscles were so weak that my hands were trembling, and I was all alone in the gym. Nobody.
That's a shocking revelation. 2 kgs, Sumit.
2 kg. My hands were trembling because I was not used to the weight. And then I slowly built up that stabilizer muscles. Right?
Yeah.
And sooner or later, 2 kg was fine. Then I went to 5 kg. Then I went to 10
Mm.
kg. Then I went to 15 kg. Then 15 kg, I can rep properly. Like I
Mm.
can do like multiple sets.
So you mean like total 15? 7.5, 7.5
No. 15 in each hand.
in each hand. Okay.
In each hands, of
Okay.
course.
Okay. Okay.
So I developed that over 6 months. It took me
Okay.
6 months to go from 2 to 15.
Mm.
And life is like that. You're not going
Yeah.
to do something and immediately you're going to succeed.
Yeah.
You're going to have
Definitely.
to stick to it, build that, right? And
Mm.
I did not realize when I reached from 2 to 15, but I
Mm.
continued the process. Had I just given up, I'll be like, oh, I'm so weak. I cannot do 2 kgs. And I give up. I'm never going to reach to that 15.
Yeah. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah. So coming back to the point of taking up more responsibility and opportunities in the workplace, how do you think it you know given in this day and age, the work-life balance is a huge topic of conversation. So how do you think it might impact the work-life balance of it?
Okay. Yeah. Work life balance, as I said, very important. For most people, it is very important. For some people, they believe that if you focus on work life balance, na work rahegi, na life rahegi. I kind of believe that as well because I am quite kind of like a workaholic, but I don't suggest everybody to take that route. I don't want everybody to follow my footsteps in this matter. But I would say work life, because I enjoy working, I enjoy doing different things. It works for me. But for most people who want to maintain a good life outside of work, they want to spend time with their friends and family. They want to try out different hobbies. I would say work life balance is very important. Now in India, because as I said, it relates to the point which I mentioned about the IT services company under promising, over promising, and under delivering. When you say that you're going to do the project in 3 months, which should ideally take 6 months, people are being forced to work. They
Yeah.
have to work overtime to meet the
Overtime.
deadlines.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But when you move abroad, when you go to good companies abroad, you'll notice that the timelines are more justifiable. They are far more reasonable for most companies, and therefore the work culture itself is far better because okay, you know exactly when the deadlines are going to come, they're going to be met, and people stick to that deadline. Right? Nobody is going to ask you when are you coming to office or when are you leaving. Nobody is worried about that. As long
Yeah.
as you're getting the work done properly. That spoon feeding culture is not there. Nobody is expecting that you'll be spoon fed. But at the same time, if you are messing up at work, if you are late in submitting your deliverables, then surely people are going to ask you. But the
Definitely.
culture is expecting that, okay, you are an adult. We are all adults in the workplace. Let's take ownership. Let's take responsibility and do our jobs well, the best that we can.
Yeah.
There's no
Absolutely.
micromanagement. Most companies, micromanagement is a lesser of a problem.
That I think is one of the biggest difference makers in the the work culture, working culture here and outside. Especially Singapore. I think you did mention right that Singapore has more of a European work culture rather than a American work culture. Would you care to
No,
expand
American
on that?
work culture is also good. American work culture is not bad. I would say that American culture is quite. I think that has become the standard across the world. Maybe Europe is a bit different, where they are a little bit more chilled out. But
Yeah.
most places are actually following the American way of work. Right?
Yeah, the
You have the same
Europeans
style.
they prioritize the holidays and their health in a way I've
Yes.
never seen. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
this sounds very
Yeah.
stress free. Yeah,
Yeah. But it's all
yeah,
correlated. Okay.
yeah.
You have one culture which is working themselves to death. There's one culture which will tell you, okay, there's no point to working.
There's
Just
no
relax
point
and
in
enjoy
working.
life.
Just relax.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
There are
yeah.
pros and cons for both.
Yeah,
Okay. A
absolutely,
culture which
absolutely.
is working a lot, trying to innovate,
Mm,
trying to do new things, they're going to
mm,
improve. A
yeah.
culture which is too chilled out will also
Mm,
not do that well. And that's a
mm.
given.
In the long
But
run, yeah.
yeah, but the main point that I want to put across is that productivity and baseless work are two different things. In India, we have conflated the idea of working hard with
Mm.
actual work, but that's not
Yeah,
true.
that's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's work that you're actually creating something, you're producing something. Maybe out of 1 hour, it takes you 10 minutes to do that, but it's
Mm,
real valuable work that you're creating.
mm,
Whereas for 1 hour straight, you're sitting in front of your computer doing some data entry operation, which can be easily automated. That is not hard work.
yeah.
That is not bringing value to anyone. So we have to be very careful when we say that you need to work hard. You need to actually create value. This
Yeah,
idea of staying 9 to 6 in your office,
without
right,
any
and just
reason. There's no point in
without
doing
any
that. I mean,
reason.
yeah, I mean, your work should have an impact. At the end of the day, that
Yeah,
is what matters. Yeah, if
exactly.
you're staying the long hours, burning the midnight oil, doing what matters, making an impact, creating an impact, definitely do it. Go for it. But there's no point in staying behind just because the boss asked you. I mean, for the culture, I
Doesn't
mean,
make any
that's
sense.
doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
I absolutely abhor and look down on them. There
yeah,
is no point in that. You
yeah.
finish your work, if you are able to finish your work on time, that's good for you, hey, because you have good time management skills, man. That's a plus for you. So yeah, that's definitely what it is. And yeah, speaking
Exactly.
of opportunities and responsibilities and everything, let's come to the topic of the GCC. Yeah. So, well, what are GCCs, Sumit? Like, what do you know by the definition of GCCs?
I might fumble on the full form of GCC.
Hmm.
Maybe you can just put it across for the audience.
Okay.
It's
Yeah, it's
global,
global capability centers.
exactly,
So
global capability centers, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it makes sense because
Hmm.
you're trying to develop capable workforce, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
earlier, if you see in India, what was happening is that India was the back office of the world. That is what India was
yeah,
famous for.
yeah.
And now India is now the GCC capital of the world.
This is
Okay.
capital of the world. Yeah.
It's just an evolution of the back office, but it is a much needed improvement.
Mhm.
So earlier we used to the main companies headquartered abroad used to hire third party organizations, okay, to get the work done. But now these companies, the client companies, are actually setting up their GCCs in India, in Vietnam, such countries, and they're trying to keep it all in house in a way.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the people that you hire now, they will be part of the company and they'll be better skilled, better trained, better incorporated into your organization.
Yeah.
So India has naturally evolved as the GCC capital of the world because it used to be the back office of the world.
Yeah.
And we are seeing a lot of companies setting it up. And on this point, I would say that GCCs, as a matter of fact, maybe for freshers, it's much harder to move abroad directly. But
Yeah.
GCCs can
Yeah.
be actually a very good entry point
Yeah. That's a good gateway, and a segue could be a very good segue into converting to
into a full-time
offshore
offer
client.
abroad.
Yeah, offshore client location permanently. Yeah.
Exactly. Because
Yeah.
you get to experience that company's culture.
Yeah.
And every company, every large organization actually allows people to move within the company and to a different location. So you can change your geography, staying in the same company. So you have internal job postings which
Yeah.
take place. And if you can build a good reputation in the company, if you can create that
Network.
network and that list of work that you've done within the same
Yeah.
company, you might get that offer. So it's a
Yeah.
very, very good opportunity if you want to move abroad at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. And in the current given market, we see a lot of GCCs opening up in India. Like we have
Yeah.
heard JP Morgan recently is expanding their GCCs in Mumbai. They have taken up a huge, they plan to open basically Asia's largest GCC, if you've heard of it. Yeah, so it's a
Okay.
huge, like there's a lot of job opportunities coming up in the next year. I would suggest you guys keep your eyes peeled for it. And definitely, and when it comes to Hyderabad, Hyderabad is being touted as the GCC capital of India.
Oh,
The amount of GCCs that are opening up almost every day, it's crazy. For that matter, even JLL, the real estate company, which is they are planning to open their own GCCs here in India, in Hyderabad. So yeah, you have 1,000 opportunities next year, man. Like if you
JLL
can,
is James Long LaSalle, is it?
Jones Lang LaSalle. It's a real
Jones
estate
Lang
company.
LaSalle. Okay.
Yeah, it's a real
Okay.
estate company. Yeah. So
Okay.
for majorly in Hyderabad, the biggest real estate players when it comes to commercial real estate spaces are JLL and Savills. So sorry, I'm
Okay.
not Savills. Sorry, it's CBRE. My bad. I'm
Okay.
gonna get slashed for that. So these are the two players. Yeah, these are the two main rivals, CBRE and JLL. So the biggest transactions, land parcels that are done here, commercial when it comes to commercial real estate, are either JLL or CBRE. So
Okay.
yeah. So the big companies are putting up the GCCs in Hyderabad. I think you should keep your eyes peeled for it. There's a lot of job opportunities coming up. And here's the thing. People think that, with these big companies, you require naturally a lot of qualification and everything. I think, I mean, look, I mean, talking about myself, I think I can hold myself as a prime example. I have just done a BCom accountancy honors. I'm just a bachelor's. So yeah, I think with that being where I am, with the work experience that I have and everything, it's definitely possible. You don't necessarily have to have an MBA to crack into these big companies. You can definitely start small. Like I'm just reiterating the point that Sumit mentioned earlier. You can start small. You can start small and build your way up to it from here. From there, you don't necessarily have to take a loan and do an MBA and then think of it. You can just run on a bachelor's and you can try to see how am I performing in the market? Like how can I present my skills in the market? So
The
yeah,
main
that
thing is
is
to acquire those skills,
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It's not the
Absolutely.
degree that matters anymore.
It's
Degree
not
is
that
important
not that anymore.
for a regulatory perspective, but as long as you
Yeah.
have the basic degree,
Yeah.
it's after that it's your skill,
Yeah.
right? Everybody, it's like someone used to tell me that what school and college does is basically teach you how to dance,
Yeah.
but who becomes the famous dancer
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
up to
Yeah.
their talent and their hard work.
So, anyway, coming to the last 2 points of the video, I think Sumit, in the last video, in your video, you talked about communication skills. So, I'm genuinely interested in your take on the communication skills of the Indians because we have seen when it comes to the Indians, their communication skills aren't not just up to par. I think they are below standard on the general mass. So, how do you think people can improve those skill set? And yeah, that's how do you think people can improve?
Well, I cannot tell you everyone that this is exactly what is going to work for you because
Hmm.
different people have different challenges when it comes to their communication skills. But I can tell you for a fact that it starts in your childhood. If you have never been able to, or if you've never been taught how to communicate, then it is very hard to understand and learn that, right? So it's a new skill that you need to understand, right? Storytelling, talking to people, presenting, these are skills. These are skills which you need to learn. Just like you have hard skills when you're learning how to code,
Mm.
or when you're learning how to do accounting or something, you have soft skills as well. And we have to understand that soft skills are equally important, are equally. I would say it's even more important. Okay.
Yeah.
There's a saying that I really like. It goes like this. It says, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Okay. I really, really like this proverb, because a lot of things in life, after a certain age, you'll notice it doesn't matter how talented you are, because talented people are there are plenty,
Yeah.
right? What sets you apart is how you put yourself across,
Yeah.
how well you communicate, how well you gel with people. These things become a lot more crucial. So communication skills is something that you really need. You cannot escape
Yeah.
without learning
Definitely.
or picking up this skill, right?
Yeah.
And the way that you can do this is actually by practicing,
Mm.
right? When you're about to go for a presentation, how often would you say that, okay, you stand in front of the mirror and you practice it? What are the ways that you can put your points across? What are the new interesting anecdotes that you can add? And this is a skill that you pick up over time, but it is a skill that you must acquire. Now, how you can acquire that, how to do that, we will surely have a separate episode for that in the
Yeah.
upcoming
For
future.
sure.
But I can tell you for a fact that the fact that I moved from India to abroad as a fresher, and we all have heard this idea that you cannot move abroad as a fresher. It is very hard. But I have done that. And I would say that I was able to do that primarily because I was able to communicate during the interviews.
Mm.
I was able to put across my experience. The 9 months of
Mm.
very tough work that I did, it would have been pointless had
Yeah.
I not been able to translate that, and had I not been able to tell that to the interviewers. What exactly have I done? I had learned a lot, but
Yeah.
if I'm not able to tell anyone, what have I done? What can I do? How can I
What's
add
the
value to the
point?
organization? What's the point?
What's the
Nobody's going
point?
to hire me. So
Yeah.
this is one thing that we have to
Mm.
accept, that
Yeah.
communication skills are crucial. You cannot
Mm.
do well in life without good communication skills. And
Mm.
when you interact with more people, when you
Mm.
practice this day in and day out in any organization, it doesn't matter whether you're in India or abroad, this is going to help you. So please,
Definitely.
I urge everyone, practice talking, practice your English. The more you do this, the better you get.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely about the presentation of the information that you're putting forward, because I think the key difference in communication when it comes to people from the East and people from the West, they are very heavy on the presentation side. They are it's very difficult to beat them. They are very good at presenting and sales in general. They're natural at it. And when it comes to the counterparts of the East, us, we are very heavy on the information side of the things. So I think for us, our way to get better at the communications, at our communication skills, is being able to present better, because
Yes.
that is, I think, what's lacking in the general mass of the people.
I'm very hopeful that younger people will actually improve on this a lot. I
Yeah,
think we've come a long way, right?
yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of fun that's made of accents, the Indian
Mm,
accent.
yes, yes.
But I would say that it is very racist in a way, because you speak to people from Japan or from China or from any other
Mm,
country, they
mm,
also have accents. You talk
yeah.
to somebody from Spain or from England. In England,
Hmm.
some people have accents which even native English speakers don't understand,
Oh yeah, I know. I work with
right?
UK clients. I know that.
Yeah. So accents will be there, and there's no one set way of talking in English.
Mm,
It's just that, let's say you're
mm,
from outside Bengal and you're trying to attempt to speak Bengali. Surely your accent won't be perfect when you
yeah,
first try,
for sure.
and we can sense that. But the fact that you're trying, if you can speak Bengali in a way, that is enough. That is more than
Yeah,
enough. So just
absolutely.
focus on that. Don't worry about the accents and all. That will improve over time. But your fluency should be there. You should be able to put across your points fluently, right?
Yeah.
I see a lot of people say can able to. I don't understand how they end up
What's
saying can able to.
a can able
Yeah,
to? I've never heard that.
yeah. People, I've heard a lot of people when
Uh,
they mention that they're able to do something, they say I can able to.
Okay.
So
Okay, okay.
I don't understand why they end up saying I can able to. Anyway, that this
Hmm.
is a grammatical mistake that you should avoid.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we are not trying to be grammar Nazis here. What we are trying to tell you is
Mm,
that communication is crucial. It is a
yeah.
crucial skill to have, and you should actively work on it. You don't have to
Yeah.
become. You don't have to have an Americanized accent or a British accent.
Yeah.
We don't. We don't. We are
We
talking in
don't.
English right now. We
Yeah.
don't have that accent.
Yeah. I
Our
mean,
accent is pretty Indian.
yeah. I mean, guys, look, this dude is living in Singapore. Is at it's as cosmopolitan as it gets. I mean,
Yeah,
he's speaking in this accent, so
in
why
Singapore,
not?
people talk in a different version of English. It's called Singlish.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it's called
What's
Singlish.
that? What's
So
that?
Singlish is very interesting. I find it very interesting the
Okay.
way they turn some. So they have taken influences from different languages. So there are some
Okay.
influence from Mandarin, some from
Okay.
Malay, some from Tamil, right,
Mhm.
and some from English. Mostly
Tamil.
English. Yeah,
Okay.
because Singapore has a huge Tamil population. The three national
Hmm.
languages of Singapore are Mandarin, English, Tamil, and Malay. Four
Okay.
main languages. So huge Tamil community here.
Hmm.
So you will see people say ayo.
Ayo.
Chinese people say ayo. Okay, which is a
Oh,
typical.
that's got to be a
Yeah.
cultural shock.
No, it's very interesting. I find it very
Yeah, yeah,
interesting. Then
yeah.
people say, "Did you have makan?" Which means food in Malay.
Okay,
Makan.
okay. Makan,
Okay,
okay.
and then you have words from Mandarin as well. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and people end up saying ma, lo after saying something.
Okay.
Like for example, yes,
Mm-hmm.
people say can. So they don't
Mm-hmm.
say yes. They say can la,
Okay, okay.
can ma.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, okay.
it's very interesting. I find it very
Okay.
interesting. I enjoy the
Yeah.
enjoy talking to people in
Mm-hmm.
Singlish. So I enjoy personally. Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely sweet. It's new. It's
yeah,
new. It's interesting. It's very nice actually. So
yeah.
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, and which definitely brings us to the next point, which is like I have seen that Indians, when it comes to conversing with people from abroad, with the foreigners, they, their low self-esteem comes to the forefront, which becomes an issue. They don't know what to say. They blank out when it comes to talking with people from the outside, especially if it's a person who has a very thick accent, which they are not being able to understand, which they have a very thick native accent, let's say British accent. They have a very person in front has a very thick British accent, and me being an Indian, I'm not being able to understand. I don't know, man. I've seen people shutting down. I mean, couple of days ago. I mean, not couple of days ago. My last working day on a Tuesday. One of my friends, he was leaving the organization, and he had to take a call with one of the UK clients. So he was so nervous, and he was not very good at taking calls. He was so nervous. He asked me to join him and assist him in the call. And funnily enough, the guy who we did converse with, was ethnically from our region, from the Indian subcontinent region. He did move to UK and he is a British citizen now, but he was very comfortable with us and he did open up. He realized the other guy who was with me, he was uncomfortable conversing, not as much as I was. So he did open him up by speaking in Hindi, which was actually very nice. You generally don't see that happening. But yeah, so I think that has changed a lot with the advent of the social media, because we are so exposed to English forms of content. That has changed a lot. I mean, a lot of the Gen Zs now, they aren't as shy as the millennials were back in the day when it came to conversing with the foreigners. I think they look forward to it. What do you think? How do you view this aspect of communications when it comes to Indians?
Well, I would say Indians are no less than anyone in the world. Let's first accept that we are the fourth largest economy in the world.
Yeah,
We are a
definitely,
superpower, right?
definitely,
We are 1.4 billion people strong. We are
exactly.
no less than any damn country in the world. Let's first acknowledge this. We went 200 years of colonial oppression and we came out of that completely poverty stricken. And now we are taking on the world.
Yeah,
Let's acknowledge that fact. We have done
yeah.
really well. That's first. Number two, everyone around the world has their own language, their own way of talking. We have our own way of talking, right? If somebody wants to make fun of us or tell us that, okay, this is not the appropriate way, and they act as the hegemon who controls the accent, industry, let them. We don't have to care, right? The fact that we are even attempting to speak a foreign language just so that we are able to communicate should tell us that we are doing our best.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
just like we are trying hard to understand their accent, they should put equal efforts to
Yeah,
understand our accent as well.
yeah,
Surely we can
absolutely.
improve, they can improve, all of us
Mm,
can. And that is
mm,
how it should be.
yeah,
But we have no reason. to feel that we are behind anyone in the world. That is number
Obviously,
one. Okay.
for sure.
So that sense of insecurity it should not
Yeah,
be there, right?
yeah,
At the end of the day, what is the purpose? The purpose is to communicate. I want to put across my words, my message. I want to listen to the other side. And the attempt should be to do it as easily and as smoothly as possible,
smoothly as possible. Yeah, exactly.
right? That
That's
is
what
the
it
main
is.
goal.
Yeah.
So don't overthink. I would suggest to people who are afraid of
Mm.
conversing with people from different places,
Yeah,
don't be afraid. The moment you start getting into that territory of overthinking, it becomes a lot harder. So
yeah,
don't overthink. Try your best, work on it, and within a year or two in the workforce, you'll definitely start talking the language properly. The
definitely.
corporate jargon, all those things,
Mm.
that becomes standard across the world.
Yeah, let me circle back to you on that one.
Circle back to you on this, touch base,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So you'll be up and running in no time. But
yeah.
don't the first thing that you need to do is realize that you are not behind anyone
Mm.
and you are not answerable to anyone. Okay. You don't have to justify your accent to anyone. Like
Yeah,
they don't have to justify it to you. You don't have to
yeah,
justify it to them.
exactly,
And build up
exactly.
that confidence within yourself. Don't feel
Yeah,
like you're behind
yeah, yeah.
someone from a foreign country.
Mm.
It's not like that.
Mm. Yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, have more confidence, man. Like, come on. Why do you have to be so underconfident? There's no
What
point.
else? What
There's no
exactly?
point. Yeah.
What other option do you have?
We are the ones speaking in their language. Come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Come on.
I believe if you believe in YOLO, you should
Mm.
just do it with full
Mm.
confidence. Surely you'll make mistakes, learn from them, improve.
Definitely.
And that's the best thing that you can do. That is the only thing that you can do, is what
Yeah.
I'll say. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the next point would be jokes. So what do you think about cracking jokes? You being in such a cosmopolitan city. I mean, the way jokes are taken here and the kind of jokes that are cracked in the Indian culture, in the Indian office spaces. How do you think it differs from culture to culture? You know, you working with so many different cultures. It must be. I mean, from my perspective, I think it must be really difficult to crack jokes in a year like that, situation like that.
Definitely. At first, it will take you a while to
Yeah,
understand. But sooner or later you'll realize, okay, these are the things which are funny, right?
yeah.
And some cultures are more open to these jokes than other,
Mm,
for sure. Some are more serious and some are not serious at all. They're very chill.
mm,
So you just learn on the job. But it's that exposure that you get. And
mm,
because let's say you are very senior at some point, you've
mm,
never been exposed to all these people from different countries, different cultures, and you end up cracking a joke innocently.
yeah.
And you don't realize that maybe in their culture, cracking such a joke is very
Is
inappropriate.
offensive. Yeah.
It's very offensive. It's better to make those mistakes when you're younger, when people are going to
Mm.
forgive and forget,
Definitely. I mean, when you are in the
right?
learning phase and in the lower
Yeah,
levels of the corporate ladder, that's when you make the mistakes. But
yeah,
yeah, I think the point is that at the end of the day, you need to learn to crack jokes, even in different setting and different cultural settings and everything,
yeah,
because it's a part of your communication skills.
definitely.
Jokes are a part of your communication skills, and you need to know how to crack jokes, when to crack them.
Yeah,
Jokes are it helps you segue into different conversational lines. It helps you lighten the mood, lighten the tension
yeah,
for a better flow of our conversation and information. It's like a joker card in the deck of cards. I you need to learn how to joke around,
yeah. A sense of
even
humor
in a
is
serious. Yeah,
is
absolutely.
taken well across different
Yeah,
cultures, right? Sense of humor is important,
absolutely,
and
absolutely.
maybe your jokes in India won't translate directly
Mm,
in your country, but
mm.
you can find a way because people at the end of the day are the same.
Yeah,
Everyone has the same problems in life,
yeah,
same
yeah,
same challenges in life, and we can all laugh about it. And
yeah,
that's the whole point, to realize that okay, we are all human beings. We might have different passports, but at the end of the day, the basic problems are the same.
yeah.
So this is one thing that you need to keep in mind. And I think naturally the jokes will flow, that conversation will happen. And yeah, there's nothing to stress about.
At the end of the day, I mean, people would just want to laugh with each other. I mean, if they are
Yeah.
never not open to that, so yeah,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
go for it. Just go for it. If it doesn't work, you know what not to do. So yeah, I mean, coming to the next point, the last point of the video, which is like, I think it was mentioned in your video earlier, Sumit, which would be the independence of working when you are working abroad. Like, there's a cultural difference that comes in when you mentioned, there's a lot of there's a lot of micromanagement that goes on in the Indian work culture, and outside, it's rather less so. So like there's you have a lot of independence of working. So would you be able to elaborate on that?
Sure. So I would say it's a double-edged sword. On one
Definitely.
hand, yeah, on one hand, you get more independence. Okay. Micromanagement is going to be far lower in most
Yeah.
places.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you will have to take ownership. Okay.
Yes.
In India, we have this culture, again, it comes back to the education system. Your teacher will give you a syllabus. You study
Mm,
according to that syllabus. You
mm,
pass, you mug up everything. You go and vomit it in the exam and you pass or fail.
mm.
Real life is not that.
Yeah.
In real life, there is no syllabus. There is
Yeah.
no syllabus. There is no guide teacher to guide you. Okay.
Yeah.
Every day is an exam in real world. And the main thing to understand here is that you are expected to be independent, to be able to work by yourself, but you're expected to also take accountability. So let's say
Yes.
if your manager gives you a task, you should not go and disturb other people. Surely you can take help, but what I mean is you should not be dependent that somebody is going to tell me how to do, what to do, when to do it.
Mm,
You have to take up that step.
yeah.
So, for example, when I was incorporating ServiceNow in APAC,
Mm,
so I think
mm,
most people are used to using ServiceNow. It's
yeah.
a very good software. It's a very good tool. I was tasked to implement that for my team. I never had to. I definitely connected with people who are ServiceNow administrators in my company, but I never had to go and ask people for guidance or for stuff like that because I worked actively to find that information by myself. I got in touch with the right people. I came up with a plan of how to do the entire thing. So I was basically the project manager in a way. And from start to finish, I had everything planned out. I executed one by one. And when the thing rolled out, the greatest compliment that my manager gave me was that we did not even realize how it got implemented. It wasn't there, and now it's there.
And
And
now
now
it's
it
there.
feels like
It was
our
always
lives
there.
have, it was always there. That is the greatest compliment that I got, right?
That's actually yeah, bhai. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
So the if you see that journey, I of course reached out to a lot of people. I tried to
Yeah.
get everybody on board. I got the testing done, but I
Mm,
took ownership of it and I was
mm,
accountable. My
yeah.
manager never had to chase me. Nobody had to
Mm,
ask me what's happening with this one. What is the update on
exactly.
this? I was accountable to myself, and this is something that
Mm,
young people need to
need
realize.
need to
If you
learn.
are
Yeah.
productive, if
Yeah.
you are accountable to yourself, you will do very well. And
Very
seniors,
well.
the upper management is going to recognize that for sure.
100%. 100%. So when it comes to me, I handle an entire process on my own. Like I have to perform all the activities on time. Sometimes mistakes do happen along the way, but the thing is, I have to be responsible for it. If I don't do the work, let's say if I have a lot of emails pending that I need to do, if I don't do it at the end of the day, there is no one gonna come who is gonna come to help me. I mean, there is no one else in my team. I'm the only one. So
Yeah,
I think when you are in a situation like that, it's like either do or die. You have to do it, else
yeah.
that's it. You lose the responsibility that you have gotten of the entire process. So I think that is one thing that I learned definitely. According to me, before I started handling the entire process, I thought I knew what accountability and responsibility were when it came to doing the work. I definitely had a sense of it, but now that I'm handling this entire process alone, it's a different ball game, man.
This is one thing that young people will realize when they first join the
Yeah,
workforce.
yeah,
Because
100%.
throughout their lives, till that
Hmm.
time, they were used to having that system
Yes.
with those rules. But the moment
Yeah.
you come out of your school and college system,
Mm.
you realize there's no system.
Yeah.
There is no
You
rule.
you need to
Yeah,
make your own system, and you need to be the
exactly.
one who needs to make sure that it keeps on running and running and running.
Yes,
That's
exactly. That's
completely
the
on
point.
you.
You need to come
Yeah.
up with your own system. You need to hold yourself accountable. Nobody's going to come and chase you. Nobody's going to, even if they chase you, that is,
Mm.
you should take it like an insult in a way.
Yeah,
You should do
absolutely.
such a good job that everybody
Mm.
should build that trust
Yeah.
with you. That okay, if I've given the work to Rishabh, I know
Mm.
it's going to get done. I don't have to
Yeah.
chase. That is what we want young people to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that is one of the things that's missing in today's workforce. Majorly because they're new. The work ethic they need to learn. I mean, that's what it is. Like you need to learn on the way that accountability and responsibility. When your manager doesn't have to chase you for a task that he or she has assigned to you, that shows that, that it stands out to them when
Yes.
when you do actually do that.
Yep.
So yeah.
Definitely does.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you are able to do that, I've seen that in myself, I've seen my confidence come from here to here. I mean, when I know that I can do it, I mean, you have that self belief that it gives you a sense of self confidence, man, that you never get before when you have actually not done stuff before on in terms of scales like that. And that's one of the things that you get from your communication skills as well. The more better you are at it, the more confident you will be. What do you think?
I absolutely agree. I would say that everything is connected. It's not that
Yeah,
one thing
absolutely.
is all you need. You need everything, and
Mm,
everything is connected. So work on everything slowly but
yeah.
steadily, and soon enough you will reach that point where you are more confident, you are more
Mm,
capable,
mm,
people trust you a lot with the difficult tasks, and you'll rise up in your career, or in your business, or whatever. You will do well. Just focus on improving one step at a time. You know how Will Smith, now infamous, but the famous Will
mm,
Smith, says that if I have to create a wall, if I have to build a wall,
mm.
if I look at a huge wall, and if I imagine, okay, I'm going to build the wall, it is going to seem like a huge challenge.
Yes.
But all I can do is lay that
Mm,
brick,
mm,
focus on laying that brick. So
yeah.
each day I'm going to come and lay one brick. I'm going to
Mm,
lay the best brick that I can in the
yeah,
best way that I
absolutely.
can. And
Absolutely.
soon I'll have a wall, right?
Yeah.
So this is one thing that young people need to understand. Nobody knows everything. Everybody is struggling in life. Everybody is
Yeah.
trying hard in life.
Yeah.
It is true for you. It is true for your parents. It is true for your
Mm,
friends. It is true for your seniors. It is true for everyone. The only thing that you can do is embrace that change, learn new skill, keep updating yourself. And yeah, we hope that you'll actually become successful very soon if you continue to do
yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Everything in life compounds. Your good habits will compound.
Yeah. These are the key growth determining factors to success. Definitely
Yeah.
think. Own your own mistakes, man. That's what it is. Like, you wanted to grow up, you have grown up. Even if you didn't want to grow up, well, you have,
Yeah.
unfortunately. So
Yeah.
now you gotta deal with it. The game's changed, man. So yeah, own up your own mistakes and take up responsibility and accountability for your actions. That's
Yeah.
how you grow. That's how you grow in life. That's how you grow in your workplace. That's how it goes. Yeah.
I think that brings us to the end of the episode. We have covered a lot of topics in this
Yeah.
podcast today,
Yeah.
and surely we are trying our best to come up with more interesting topics. And please stick to our channel. Please join us so that we can provide that value to you through our podcasts as well as our solo videos that I'm going to create every week. We are aiming for 2 videos a week, and our main target audience is the young people who are within the ages of 18 to 24, where they are starting out their first job. They have just completed college, or they are getting into college. This whole new way of life is can be quite tricky for them.
Yeah.
So we want to help these people as much as we can. And yeah, we'll cover more topics on finance, investments, saving money, how to excel in your career, and various other life problems that young people face. So thank you for joining this podcast. We hope that we were able to provide the value to you in this podcast. So please, if we did, consider subscribing, and we'll join you in the next episode of the Sorted Podcast with Sumit and Rishabh. Thank you.